this corn here is my pink corn. So I want to kind of harvest some of it, but I want to let some of it dry. Whether I'm just saving the seed to plant again or trying to make a corn grit or whatever out of it to try to use, make corn flour or, as I said, a grits or something. But it's pink and white. It's really pretty. So we'll get harvesting a bit of it. There's some of the littler ones, like this one here. We have these seeds on it already. Bring this over home. The mugs are free. It shows I'm organic. Organic stamp of approval. One sec. Well, the germination's not perfect, but I like that. I think you can dry it without leaving it on there. The airwings were eating a little bit of it at the top. But they didn't get down all the way. That's pretty. Some of the stuff I picked before wasn't as ready, so it was marbled pink and white. And that's starting to almost go purple. So I'll let you know the variety when I get back inside. That is one huge tomato, and there's a turnip hiding in there. I've got okra here. One's flowering. That one's supposed to turn into an okra, but I don't know if I'm gonna get one. It was fun trying this year, but I think Tom did better than I did. He actually got an okra from his. There's toothache plant in there. There's more tomatoes and more corn. That is getting ready, but it's not quite ready. You can leave it. Oh yeah, squash. What I have a lot of right now. A lot. Look, I got beans over here. Some of them are a little bit too old. I need to use them for seed. But I'm getting in these squash. My garden's a jungle. That one's good. There's a little one that can get bigger. A lot of little ones. They will gotta keep coming back, and they'll get bigger quickly. In here I have a bunch of herbs, and I noticed a little while ago, I'm like, oh, that kind of looks like peppers. Oh, it is, and look, there's a couple of red ones. My garden hides a lot of things, but it protects it from the hot summer rays. Like that area, protecting the peppers really well. Even though they weren't weeded out, they still have a whack load of peppers on them. So you don't have to weed necessarily, but if you see the weed stealing nutrition from your plant and your plant not doing very good, then you need a weed. Chop and drop. I think this is where I threw in probably a couple of Howies, mixed pumpkin and squash seeds, because that's a white pumpkin in there. And I've never grown a white pumpkin. Could be a mixture, but I think it might be one of Howie's. Because I came out here with Howie seeds, didn't I, when I was filling in the garden. And this, there is a pepper under here too. And there's tomatoes under here. The tomatoes that weren't doing very good, I put them over here. There's a pepper you were gonna pick there, wasn't it? Yeah. Nice big pepper in here. Beautiful. So Mikey's gonna pick that big pepper, and we're gonna go on the squash patch. See? And there's more pumpkin or something coming. That might be a different one too. I think there might be 2 plants here or 3, because this one is a different one too. I might have just put. I might have put a lot of squash in here. That's okay. Guess there's another one right here too. Honest. Bend that leaf over. You don't have to really cut your squash leaves back. You can bend them over just to give the other squash some sunlight. See, that one's climbing. So we'll just let it climb. Maybe we'll get pumpkin. We got peas and carrots. Well, carrot seed in here. I let a couple of carrots go to flower. And I planted peas in there. And then the corn's on the other side. And I've never been able to get in here since. The clover is in here and bird seed. Like that. Perfect bird food and rabbit food. But we're in here because, well, we're starting to get a little powdery mildew. Not much. It's going to go down to about 7 tonight. But my food forest hedge here really protects against that cold wind. So my garden is actually going to feel warmer than that 7 degrees. I'm hoping my okra down there will have a little bit more heat protection from the flowers. Hope so. Hopefully it'll still produce something for me. I just want to try one. But we're in here. I've never ever tried okra before, people. Ever. Now, squash is something I have tried, and I grow a lot of. There's a nice little one there that's not too big. There's one that's starting to get bigger, which I'm going to leave that one and let it get bigger. They store better when they're bigger, but I like eating them when they're tender. Raw in that is they're a lot better texture. When they get bigger, you got to cut the seed out, you got to cut the skin off, but they store. They will store for a month in my cool room when they are big. And I came and looked in here the other day, and I had a few big ones. But I wanted to come show you the jungle of the squash. So there's a few in here, and then nasturtium in here. I love having them come up with the squash. Look how pretty they are. And they bring the pollinators in for your squash. A lot more than anything else, because they will grow under your squash. And they will find their own way out. They will. See, look, or not. That one's not out at all. It's all under the squash. Look how nice and big those leaves are. I've used them to cover the top of a ferment to make sure no air gets into it. They are perfect for that. And they add a little bit of a peppery thing. I got some yellow squash down there too. Yeah, one big one in here. Right down here. Twisted pole. Now, I don't think there's any on that one. I kind of checked from the other side. So, look how beautiful that is. The nasturtiums and the squash. Love it together. Okay, I'm getting out of here. Get peas on your pea plants that have gone too far. They are one of the easiest things you can save seed for. So just keep them on the plant a little bit longer, but that one is good enough to eat. And it's not going in the way in. I'm eating it. We got buckwheat here and peppers.
And oh, that pepper,
kind of, something happened to that pepper. I don't think that one's any good, but we got a red tomato there, and some red tomatoes in here, a red tomato there. I think that one fell off, huh? That one's not connected to a plant. I think that one fell off when we were moving the plants around. But those look very awesome. It's okay, you can drop them. We're just making sauce out of them. That one's beautiful. Usually we don't get red ones here, so now we know we can plant determinate around the apple tree, and they ripen up really wonderful. Look at that buckwheat too. That buckwheat is beautiful. It's a red buckwheat. Red and pink. Oh, there's another tomato right there, too. And the sunchokes help hold them up. So, could have cut them back a little bit more, but there's some more buckwheat and nasturtiums. And this is all new garden bed. We planted potatoes in here, but they didn't really come up, so that's okay. They're old potatoes, and we're just feeding the earth and getting it ready for this year. There's some patty pans, but I harvested some yesterday, so I'm going to let some of these grow. And I think Mikey got the pepper that was hanging up here. There's one more there. I'll grab that one. Did we? I told you, it's a jungle.
Does Johnny Pepper go red?
Yeah.
Well, then use Johnny Pepper then. Do that one and this one.
Oh, maybe it is Johnny's pepper. Hey, Johnny, does your peppers go yellow and then red, like a lime green and then red? Or is that a banana pepper that's gone on too long? I don't know. We'll find out.
Much love, John.
Much love, Johnny. We have your pepper. I know this one is a Johnny Boy pepper because it's around our fire pit area. And I wanted to keep an eye on it, but with keeping an eye on it, it didn't have a lot of mulch here. They're growing nice. But Portugal, hot Hungarian Portugal pepper,
Yeah.
and they do go red, I think. But this plant had no mulch and just had like sandy soil and a little bit of compost around it. But it was doing really badly, and the bugs were starting to eat it, and it had one teeny tiny little pepper on it, maybe about that big. And then I decided to fix it. So I took my rabbit poop, and I added water to it, and I made a big goop, and I plopped the goop down there on Johnny's pepper, and then I put mulch on top of it. After that, it started growing more peppers.
2, 3, 4
It likes
peppers.
rabbit poop, Johnny boy. We have another few of your peppers scattered around here, but I don't know where. I gave some to Tom, but he didn't do very well there. Okay, we'll be back. So far, I didn't think this one was going to be any good, but it has a couple rows of corn. I left a comment on Baker Creek's video, their newest one, to get their attention, and I asked them if the pink corn is edible when it's young, and they said when it's in the milk stage. So you pop the kernel and you're poking out a milky substance. I think I've seen some there.
Yeah, there was.
I didn't see it very good on camera. But when it's in the milk stage, it is edible. And then you can let it dry and make a flour corn out of it too. So I'm really impressed that they answered my question. I think it was within an hour.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very happy with that. They're the only seed company I use this year that has a YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
I tried Zappa seeds. Some of them worked really good, and other ones, they didn't germinate. But that's not on them. Some of Baker Creek's didn't germinate either. Some of my own didn't germinate well. We had a very, very dry spring.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not chalking up bad germination to bad seed. But I can't remember where I put the Zappa peas or which ones are mine and which one start from seed. So I really don't know, and I'm not going to give them a good review when I'm not sure where their seed is. But when I take a look and I know I got something, that I will definitely show you what grew. Okay, this one here is pretty funny. You see how there's a purple one? I planted purple poppy corn. See the red one? I planted the pink or red corn and some pink corn in Baker Creek. I planted a white corn from a seed packet from the grocery store. I planted a yellow corn from a friend of mine. And you know what? is, I think, the purple corn or something else I haven't checked. There is the pink corn, but I think I planted the white corn right beside it. That's why I'm getting a mixture in between. And I think I put yellow corn that way. And it's not that far. So all of the pollen pollinates each other. And you can get corn with multi-colors because of the corn planted right next door that's fertilizing it. Because the corn we're eating is the seed. So it will be fertilized differently. Whereas a squash or a cucumber, it takes the next season because the seed inside is what gets fertilized. That's the fruit. That's from the parent. The seed is a new generation. What I'm not completely sure about is if I plant that yellow one, will I get a yellow corn and not mixed? Or would I get it all mixed? The separate or just one? I guess it all depends on what grain of pollen fertilized that grain of corn. Or if two could fertilize it, or just one. I think it's just one, but you never know. Two could have gone in there and made a color. Maybe that's where we get the multicolor in one. I'm not sure. The marbling that you get in some of the kernel. I don't have a good example at the moment, but that's a quick example. Shadow had to come check out what we're doing in the garden. You come cuddle with Dad. Hey, come cuddle with Dad. Aw, you gotta give him a headbutt, eh? You love your daddy. Yeah, good old fashioned headbutt. Eh? Yeah, you pick them too. The tomato and this eggplant here. You see? Nice. That one's coming really nice. Let your tomatoes go out on the lawn. It's a good idea. I can't see.
There's one here.
A little baby one. There's bigger ones in there though. I know that. I can't get in there. I know there's one over here. Boy, this is overgrown. We gotta get back here too. I don't know if I want to walk on this stuff. Beautiful one here, but we don't need to take it in yet, so you can stay out. Nice. I know there's more in there.
Sun, how are you? Skies above. Gee, it's great to be alive and love. Good morning, sun. Good morning, good morning, sun. How are you? Skies above. Gee, it's great to be alive and love. Good morning, sun. Good morning, light. Good morning, sun. How are you? Skies above. Gee, it's great to be alive and love.
another one of them in there. Some more coming out over here. Excuse me. Never tasted them ones before, so. Oh, am I stepping on my split? No. What happens when the garden jungle? You step on stuff. Don't know where everything is. And you know, Rabbit, you better not be eating this Swiss chard. No me eating my Swiss chard. Got lots of grass. Peekaboo. You can pick it.
You want a bean?
Is it little or? No, I want that one to stay. I want peas. I like having calendula throughout the garden. Brings the pollinators in. Yeah, those are big ones. They can stay there. I think you need to cook them up good. We still have basil coming in the garden. I just took a bunch off of it for my son and froze it so he can have some basil whenever he wants. We have the violets, the Canadian violet coming out. Looks like we have some seeds. Yeah. My celery's not doing that great, but I still have some. And there's lemon balm over there in the weeds. But the celery actually did better over here, a little bit weedy. I did pull the weeds out once or twice and then let them come back in, but they look okay. Come over here. There's that garden's full of more buckwheat, the pink buckwheat. There's mallow, buckwheat, and calendula. Nice honeybee. We still have some seeds on that huge sunflower. They're slowly getting them all off. But I wanted to show you my big zucchini and how it's coming. That's a long one. So it's getting there. The skin's getting hard now, so I can pull it in anytime now. Maybe I should pull it in today or maybe this weekend. I don't know about today. Maybe it's may on a little bit longer, but if the skin's hard, it's not getting any bigger. It'll just get softer and softer. Well, it gets softer and lose weight now that my fingernail won't go into the skin. No, they don't need to decide. They would have told me to take it in a long time ago so I wouldn't get a big, long zucchini. I think that one is pretty good, long one. These meats, there's a mixture of meats in here, so we'll figure out what we had. I'm glad I actually got some. We got sun on that side, so we're going to go quickly around and see. We just made another new garden in here. We're going to make it so we have a path. I don't think there's a squash in there, is there? Not yet. But they'll be coming. If we get a longer fall without frost, we'll probably get something on them. If not, it'll become squash seeds. They develop a lot of biomass for a plant, and that biomass creates food for the soil. It doesn't always have to be food for you. You can be feeding the soil, too. Squash seeds are really cheap. You can save your own, get lots from a friend. So if you you know, want to put something in late and give it a try, go ahead.
Nice seed, bud.
Squash is good. We got a couple of corn in here, and I don't even know which ones I put in here. Maybe the white ones are in here, but they kind of all flattened out, so maybe the next couple of days we'll have more corn. Pull these ones out, and then I can wean out the meats again and find what's in there that's edible. So there's more buckwheat down here. I'm really enjoying having the buckwheat here, even as a flour and something you can add to the soil, like the squash. But the buckwheat is pretty. It adds some pollinators. It adds to the soil, but you might be able to get a grain off of it too. It's first year experimenting with it, and some of it kind of dried out. I think we might have dropped seed, because I don't see the seed that I seen before, like right there.
Right there.
Oh, I can see those drying off and falling off. So maybe I have to harvest them a bit more. Maybe when I see them starting, I can harvest. I don't know. I need to learn more about buckwheat. But I'm enjoying that, and I'm enjoying the purple kale. It's really pretty plants in the garden. We'll end coming back to them where we started from. The squash and corn, and that kale is so beautiful. Much love, everybody. Thank you.
Good morning, sun. Good morning, life. Good morning, sun. How are you? Skies above. Gee, it's great to be alive and love.
I love it when the animals love it as much as we do. Cover and food.
Good morning, sun. How are you? Skies above. Gee, it's great to be alive and love.
You're a pretty boy. I think you're a boy.
Good morning, sun. Good morning, life.
Hey, Big Bird.
Morning,
Night,
sun.
night.
How are you? Skies above. Gee, it's great to be alive and love. Good morning, sun. Good morning, sun. Good morning, life. Good morning.
Carrot seeds that are drying from one carrot I left in there, and everything else is pushing on it. There's catnip, there's tomatoes, that it pushed all the flowers down, so the seeds are all up under in there now. You see some tomatoes and purple. But there's also, you can see some there here. You see how the catnip, catmint or catnip, coming up in between them. And you see more carrot seeds. This one carrot had a lot of carrot seed, but they might be mixed with Queen Anne's lace. I have some of that on the property here. But look at how those ripen. They start off really purple, and then they go green and purple, and then they go that yellow and purpley color. They are blue gold berry tomatoes. Blue, green, gold berry tomatoes, I think. That's it. Blue, green, gold, berry tomato. But there's also other tomatoes in there that are getting all pushed down. Oh, and those must be the white or the tiger ones. So, tomatoes will actually ripen. If there's tomatoes underneath all that, they will ripen in there. You want to get them out before it frosts on it, because it becomes a big mess. But they will ripen in there, and we'll be able to get some extra tomatoes. But all of these cherry tomatoes are out at the front. And we have a squash. This is one squash. And there's another squash that went all the way up and around, and it's in there everywhere. It's a mess in my garden. It's a big jungle, and we are out here collecting food today. Do you know where your food comes from? I know where some of mine comes from. Even seeds for next year. Much love.